Hi, welcome back to the Fruit Snacks Podcast. I'm your host, Emily Wardrop from Drop the War Life Coaching, where we drop power struggle wars with our T1D kiddo to create more peace in our parenting. So someday I will get my intro and outros figured out again. But for now, there's your cute little intro. This is the Fruit Snacks Podcast, where I help you with your mental and emotional health while you're helping your child with their diabetes. How's that sound? So, I had a dream. Not like Martin Luther King, who I have a dream, not to be confused with the popular speech, I have a dream. This is the podcast, I had a dream. Like literally, I just had a dream. I woke up and was like just enjoying that I had a really good dream because lately I've been having nightmares. So I was just laying in bed 3:30 in the morning, just enjoying that I had a good dream. And then I thought, I'm gonna go tell everybody about it. Because that's what happens when I wake up at 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, is the muse for the podcast here? And then I can get back to bed? Or do I just get back to bed? And the muse struck. That's what I call it when I get an idea for a podcast and I come down and record in the middle of the night and then go back to bed. So if it sounds like I have middle of the night voice and I have to keep sipping some water, that is because that's what's happening. So anyway, I had a dream and it was amazing. So, uh, okay. You know how when you try to describe a dream, it's pretty tripping. Like we literally just watched Alice in Wonderland yesterday, and maybe that's why I had such a tripping dream. I mean, literally like an acid trip if you try to explain what's going on in dreams, right? It always sounds so weird. It feels so real, but it sounds so weird when you try to describe it with real words, right? So we're not going to go there, but I will tell you what the moral of the story was is be your authentic self. So I'm sure that's what I'm going to label this podcast. And I wanted to call it I Had a Dream, but we don't need to get mixed up with MLK. This has nothing to do with that dream. I mean, maybe it does in a roundabout way. If I wanted to relate it, actually, I could, but we're going to stay focused. So be your authentic self. Who are you? I spent over a year, I think, I don't know, over 100 podcasts for sure, I think, talking about believing that you are a good mom. Who are you? Your real true self. So we need to figure that out so that we can be her and live in alignment. Okay. So that is why this dream felt so amazing, is because it was like I was being my real true self. And it felt so good. It felt so good to drop all the inhibitions, right? And just be who I really am and not be worried about what other people are thinking. And oh, it was amazing. So that is the goal, to live in alignment. Let's do a quick little review of my AAA battery framework. So this is the coaching framework that I personally use. And I call it AAA batteries because it's 3 A's. It's sort of 4 A's actually. But the first one is to get awareness. So I actually use Brooke Castillo's coaching framework, the self-coaching model, to get awareness is the first AAA battery. But usually, once people learn the model and start getting awareness of their thoughts and how they're creating their results, they start judging themselves, right? And so we have to slip into the next AAA battery as soon as possible of acceptance and allowance. So there's 2 A's for the second A. The AAA battery framework has a AA battery in the middle. Don't get confused. Anyway, the point is acceptance, and then you have to allow it. You have to just accept the fact that you're feeling that way, that you're thinking those things, that whatever. We don't need to judge it. We don't need to resist it. That is completely counterproductive to the purpose of getting the awareness. Okay. So we get awareness and then we have to accept and allow. And then we can live in alignment with our true selves. So most of the podcasts that I do are in the second AAA battery. It's all about the acceptance and allowance because that's where we usually get tripped up. But if we can get that figured out, then we just naturally can live in alignment with our true selves. And so sometimes, and a lot of times when this was the Believe You Are a Good Mom podcast, we talked a lot about this alignment battery because it's so amazing to be your authentic self. So there's another A. So I guess the last alignment has 2 A's also. alignment with your authentic self. Okay. So who you truly are. And I know authentic is like a buzzword right now that people talk about all the time, but you know what's fun about buzzwords is they're amazing. There's a reason people talk about them all the time. So being your true authentic self, I gotta tell you, it felt so good because like I said, I've been having so many nightmares lately. So I've been in a funk. Like I can't even say I've been kind of in a funk, not like hardcore funk for like multiple weeks and been having nightmares. So I don't know if it's a chicken or the egg situation. If I'm like having weird subconscious things going on at night. So then like all day I'm kind of in a funk because of the dreams. Or am I having nightmares because I'm in a funk during the day? Who knows? Right? Doesn't matter. The point is we're allowing and accepting the funk. We're riding the funk, right? So it's fun to enjoy the high. Man, it's so good to feel so good in that dream. But we can't resist our funks either. We just gotta ride them. Okay. I'm trying to read my notes. Sorry, that always happens. Someday I'll write clearly so I don't have to do this. Not resisting keeps from dipping even lower. Okay. So we're riding the funk, which is kind of low, and then we're enjoying the highs. But the high highs and the low lows happen when we're resisting them, the highs and the lows. Like sometimes it feels so uncomfortable to feel good that we sabotage it, right? Because we just want to feel normal. And when funk is the normal, like when just feeling meh, then we want to get back down to it, right? But then we kind of resist the meh and it dips us even lower. So resisting is the opposite of allowing and accepting. It just dips you lower. So you resist the high, you go lower. You resist the low, you go even lower. Okay. So we're trying to do rolling hills here, not roller coasters, which I did go to an amusement park yesterday, and I do love me some roller coasters. And I got to tell you, the funk is so real that I was even bored on the roller coasters. I'm like, I'm not depressed. I'm just bored. That's like my mantra right now. Anyway, even the roller coasters. And I was feeling like dizzy and things. I was like, oh no, I cannot be getting old all of a sudden. Like, ugh. Anyway, I'm like scared that I can't do roller coasters anymore. I refuse to get dizzy, but I was yesterday. Anyway, because I'm riding my funk. Okay. Anyway, okay. So that's a little review of the AAA battery framework. So your true self, who I am. What does this say? The whole part of the dream, the whole point of the dream, the moral of the story was to be your authentic self. So that's our third AAA battery, right? To live in alignment with your authentic self. So whatever part of the roller coaster you're on, whichever part of the wave you're on, I can help. Yeah, I can help you ride the funk. I can help you get aligned. I can help you figure out what your dream is, right? None of it is a problem. It's all part of the journey. Okay. We were never supposed to just be happy all the time, right? That's not a thing. Even the joy and peace episode and stuff like that. I mean, I'm talking about that during a funk, people, because like it's an overarching state of being like, yeah, I feel joyful. I'm happily living my happily ever after all the things. And you just feel funky sometimes, right? But it doesn't mean I don't have joy or I can feel happy or whatever. Like it's just sort of and I'm telling you, like I'm not the only one. I keep hearing about people being in a funk right now. So I think it may be just like the change in season, like it should be spring, but it's not yet. So we're all just having sort of like a winter hangover. I don't know what it is, but the point is that it's not a problem. It's fine. We're gonna ride the funk and not resist it and make it worse, right? And the goal is to live in alignment with our true authentic self. But sometimes, like who we are in this moment is not necessarily our divine, celestial, most highest self potential, but it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. I promise you, it's okay. So discover who your authentic self is by not beating yourself up for where you are now. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So without shooting all over ourselves, right? So I should have this, I should have that. And even, I mean, let's talk about what is your dream? Like, who is your authentic self? Who are you? Because everyone is different, you know? And so if your dream is borrowed from someone else's dream, you're not going to feel like your authentic self. So let me tell you, ever since I was a kid, when people said, what do you want to be when you grow up? I always say a mom. Okay. And now, like, as I've got more awareness, right? I'm looking back and I'm like, did I really want to be a mom? Or was I just regurgitating what I thought the should was, right? Like at church, we learn that we should want to be a mom. So I was like, I got to be a good girl. I got to do everything. A+ student, you know, little Molly Mormon is what I call myself, right? And so I now I'm like, did I ever actually want to be a mom, or was I just trying to do what I thought was the right answer, right? And especially questioning that now that I am a mom, and it's so hard. It's so hard. I'm like, wait, what? So every day I have to remind myself, remember I wanted this my whole life. This is what I wanted. This is my dream, right? And so because this is my dream and this is what I always wanted, then I was kind of in denial about that whole like motherhood doesn't really fulfill me thing. I'm like, no, it totally fulfills me. I love being a mom. I'm not one of those moms, that's like not fulfilled by motherhood. Like I am. This is my dream. This is what I've always wanted, right? So I've been in resistance. Do you hear the resistance and all of that? Um, so perhaps that's why I'm in a funk because I'm resisting the reality of my true authentic self. So yes, I definitely believe that there was some divine um stuff going on, right? I absolutely, especially with my higher brain when I'm thinking logically, believe in the virtue of being a mom and that it really is like the most important job on the planet, no doubt. And that's why it's so hard. Also, it's not hard because I shouldn't be doing it. Like, since when is it's hard mean then don't do it? Like, todo lo que cuesta vale la pena, right? Like, if it's hard, then it's because it's worth it, right? And because the adversary knows how important it is, it's like the most important thing. He's attacking the family. So we're not going there. We're not saying that being a mom is not valuable. We're just saying that my very limited, closed-minded definition of what a stay-at-home mom is, and that I was trying to force myself into a square peg, round hole, is not my true authentic self necessarily, right? I'm just trying to figure this out all the time. And I've coached so many moms and heard so many moms being coached about the same thing, right? And so our conditioning growing up is great, especially, when it's inspired and it's wonderful and definitely uh, raising children and doing the hard stuff is amazing, so good. And who are you in that? Like it doesn't have to look exactly cookie cutter the way maybe our upbringing made us think that it should look, right? So that's always the first thing we do in my coaching programs is to write down that big long list of expectations we have for ourselves that we picked up from who even knows where, right? And so we decide, is this actually important to me? Or did I just pick this up along the way? You know, is this authentic to my true self, my God given self of who I am? I am. um, or not. Because there's 1,000 different ways to do, to follow God's plan for you. It's not one cookie cutter path. Okay. So, what is your dream? Because I mean, some people want to go to space. Some people want to run marathons. I always use that example because I do not have that desire. I have never had that desire. And I do not have that capability. Like, I mean, I guess I could figure out my asthma and maybe I'd be able to a little bit easier, but like, um, I'd have to want to first, right? So paying attention to your wants is a really important part of figuring out who you are because we're all different and we all want different things. The body of Christ is different. If the nose was like forcing itself to try to hear, it just wouldn't work because the nose is made to smell. Okay. What were you made to do? And are you forcing yourself to do something that is someone else's job? Are you looking at someone else thinking that they've got it figured out and you're trying to do what they're doing? No, figure out what you need to do. You're not an ear, you're a nose. Figure out how to smell. Okay. So, so this is how I could tell my story, right? Is that like I was like, okay, cookie cutter, I'm supposed to be a mom. That was my dream. And then once I got my dream, it was really dang hard. And that's when I found life coaching and then birthed a new dream of helping other people who are in the same predicament where they thought they wanted to be a mom, but then it was like so hard. They were like, wait, what am I doing? Right. So then I birthed this new dream of being a life coach, right? Because I saw my life coach doing it and thought that was like, and she changed my life so much and helped me so much. And I want to help other people, right? So I birthed a new dream. But my dream looks a heck of a lot like her dream. And as I'm trying to be her, I'm not being me. And I can feel that resistance, right? Like that is not who I'm meant to be right now in this time. Like I got to figure out who I am, right? And what that looks like for me, like what kind of coach, what kind of whatever. And the more you hear the shoulds, right, from everyone telling you how you should build your business, how you should be a coach, all the shoulds, then again, we're trying to be someone else's puzzle piece. And we are not the ears, we are the nose. We got to figure out how to smell. Don't worry about hearing like all the ears are doing. You got to figure out how to be a nose, right? So, um, so yeah, whatever you're doing, there's a million ways to do it. You do not have to be a T1D mom the way all the experts on Instagram are telling you how to do it, or even how your medical professional is telling you how to do it. Like you tap into being your own true, authentic self, and you have your own inner wisdom to let you know who you are, and you can live in alignment with who you are. And if you feel terrible, it's because you're not living in alignment with your true self. And that's okay. That's just part of the process. And so we can totally ride the funks. It's fine to feel terrible. There's nothing wrong with feeling anything. So even feeling nothing, it's fine. Or feeling bleh or whatever. Um, but you don't want to stay there forever. So we're just gonna ride it, expecting that it's gonna end, not like wallowing in it and making it last even longer, right? So, what's your dream? Let's figure it out. Let's ride the wave. Let's enjoy living in our authentic true self. Whatever it is you want to do, it's all part of the gig at coaching. This is what we do in coaching. So when I say I'm a life coach, it's kind of like, what the heck is that? So every episode, I'm kind of trying to explain what the heck is that. So if you resonate with anything that I'm blithering on about, then come apply it to you specifically, because seriously, waking up in the middle of the night recording a podcast, kind of fun, but way more fun is actually picking your brain. So mostly you hear my picked brain on these episodes, but it's a lot more fun to get to know yourself, right? So hit me up at dropthewar.com/appointments, and we'll do free coaching session, get a taste of what it's like, and you can decide if you want to continue to work with me. And that would be super fun. So I'm just looking over my notes to see if I missed anything. Be your authentic self. If you don't know who that is, let's figure it out. It's going to be a blast. Okay. Talk to you next time. Bye.